Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. We are playing Those Bastards tonight, a 5e gameplay with our illustrious Dungeon Master, Megan R. Miller. And also we have Stephen Partridge with us, and Nerd Alert Doug, and of course you know this guy over there, Nerdarchy Ted, and I am Nerdarchy Dave. I don't even know if I said that yet or not, but I was totally distracted because we were having too much fun talking amongst ourselves before going live. With that, I'm just going to hand it right over to you, Megan, and do your thing.
Okay. Salutations, nerds. I am author Megan R. Miller. I will be your dungeon master this evening. My books can be found on Amazon.com. If you're interested in weird fiction, my work might be up your alley. Tonight, our esteemed heroes find themselves camping out in the Temple of Glass before returning to the city of Leicester with their victory in tow and a shiny beacon of light shooting straight into the sky. Now, before I turn the world on, I am going to roll this d4, and whoever it lands on is going to kick us off. I want you to introduce yourself, your character, and give you previously on for what happened last session. And we're starting with Ted.
Hey everybody, I am Nerdarchy Ted. I will be playing Galeson, or Sin, Trisrel, the half-elf shadow sorcerer. Last time on Those Bastards, we had ended the session in front of, four mirrors, but one of them wound up getting shattered. Each one wound up showing us, something unique, something interesting. There was, our future self, something we wanted, a number of cool things, and we all got to experiment and, envision what was in here before we found out that one of them, wound up leading to somewhere else, giving us a key that allowed us to continue on into said dungeon. A lot of fun, a lot of hilarity, a lot of, touching moments, if I remember correctly.
As you do. Stephen.
Hi everybody, I'm Stephen Partridge, and I am playing Prudence. Prudence is part monk, part druid, and lots of sass. And she tends to be more aloof than her brothers, and as I recall last time when we were doing the mirror things, she was a lot more reserved. We ended up doing our pride mission because we had to find the rainbow feather. And in true pride fashion, we obtained the rainbow feather not through fighting, but through diplomancy, which is like diplomacy, but magic. And we ended on a note where everyone was kind of giving each other hugs and being tearful because we realized how much we all care for each other in spite of whatever we saw in those mirrors.
Oh, that is heartwarming. Doug, you're up next.
Hey, I'm Nerder Doug, and I am playing Bent, a fire genasi barbarian who grew up on the elemental plane of fire and came to the material plane seeking his destiny. And along with his siblings here, yes, we traveled to the Temple of Glass, where we were getting that rainbow feather for an astrologist who might have some more direction to give us. But the interesting thing was also that we found those, the shafts of light that sort of interacted with our constellation birthmarks, and there was two more than there was of us. So maybe it was Myth, a mysterious tiefling sculptor we met back in Leicester, or it could have been a knight of the realm, Louvel. So we don't know, but we camped out, and we think that when the sun hits the part of the temple that had the constellation that we were looking for, maybe something would happen. So that was what we did last time.
And finally, Dave.
So we did all that stuff, and we also made a new friend because Unga is always playing with birds. His, someone else's, their own. It doesn't really matter. It's been a reoccurring theme ever since Canopy, I feel like, that birds have sprung up, and we've befriended them. And sometimes they travel with us, sometimes they don't. Sometimes we name them, like in the last session where we gave Rainbow, the bird that owned the prismatic feather, its name, and who we were able to be diplomatic with. And I think Rainbow's going to go with us in adventure or something, or at least we're going to take Rainbow back to Canopy. Maybe there was a plan someplace.
I think that was it.
Yeah,
There certainly was.
And as I called out in the chat, Stephen, diplomancy now needs to be a thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So you guys are camping in the Temple of Glass, and I believe you decided you were going to spend the night and see what happened when the sun came through the window.
Mm-hmm.
So you do, and the sun crests and like comes down into the window, and it's probably about like 10 o'clock in the morning at that point because it's a pretty high up window. It spills the constellation on the floor, and as the light hits you guys, something magical starts to happen. The light starts with, I believe, Galason is the oldest, yes?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, so it starts on Galason, and then it will move like in order of age between you and start to form the constellation of the Sword Xiphos, and you can almost see it starting to materialize between you, and then it fizzles out and stops doing that.
Because we're missing the rest of our family. Did you feel that, though? It was a magical sensation. I felt it.
Did we feel like there are any pauses, like in the order?
Yeah, twice.
Okay, interesting. And which intervals were they at?
I have no idea how old you guys are, so I can't answer that, but they were between some of you.
There was some linkage between your ages and those pauses.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe I'm 18, and I think I'm the youngest of this group. So were both of those breakages before me?
Yes.
Okay.
I do believe I'm 28 and the oldest.
So they were both after Galason.
You are pretty crafty, brother.
Prudence is
What's that?
24.
Unga, so you want to figure out how old our missing siblings are.
So
You're
one was
cooking up
before
quite a little
Prudence and one was
mathematical
after.
scheme, aren't you?
Well, we could just ask Myth.
You believe that she is still in town?
And if I'm not mistaken, Galason's the only one who's met the night, right?
It would have been
No.
after I met you.
Oh, is it Louvel? Was that her name?
Louvel, yes, their
Their
name.
name, yes.
Yes, their name. Sorry.
Because prior to meeting Vent, Galason was just off doing his thing, and it was you who brought the idea. So it would have been at minimum
right.
two of us.
But we haven't seen them since then. Okay.
Well,
I'm writing down your ages. How old is Vent?
20.
Okay.
Just graduated City of Brass High not too long ago.
So yes, the pauses were between Galason and Prudence and Vent.
All right. You just mathed.
mathomancy. Ooh.
Yeah. I think that magical sensation awoken something in you, Unga.
Unga's very wise. Well,
Hey.
he's got a 12 anyway.
So that starlight didn't interact with Sheldon.
No, it did. There
Oh,
were
it
there are
did?
7 stars.
Oh, wow. So he really is one of us. I mean, as a player, I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder if he... It's good to know.
But I don't know. Galason, I believe Myth lives in Luster, right? Isn't that what we figured out?
They weren't very forthcoming with information. So it is possible that they live there, or possible that they were just traveling through. I could not tell you where Louvel would be, but I do believe they had some reputation. So I think they would be easy to find if we were to speak to the right people.
Do we have anything of theirs? Prudence, you said that Myth would be able to find us with that stone.
Yes.
Do we have any way to do that ourselves?
Can you just find your stone?
No, I meant for Sir Louvel.
Oh.
But yes, that's a great idea. Can anybody locate an
Prudence,
object?
Sister, when we thought they were trapping us, we were actually trapping them.
How
Exactly right. Okay, you get me.
What do you mean?
Well, we could, but if Myth has that object of ours and we were able to magically locate that, then we'd be able to track.
Oh, can you do
Vent.
that?
Oh no, but it's possible, right, Prudence?
In theory.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking if we had anything of Sir Louvel's, we could also find them too.
with someone powerful
Well, I have a
enough to
habit
do
of
so,
picking up
yes.
trinkets, but I don't quite have anything of theirs.
Well, we'll put a pin in it.
If Sir Louvel, this Louvel you speak of, is a knight of the realm, I would imagine that a deal of heroism goes into whatever they choose to accomplish. So, in theory, we could seek out a bard.
Okay, so wise.
But I think the next thing we have to do is go back to town and prove to Myth that we're not screw ups.
Yes, that's right. That was the original. That was the original plan. And Rainbow is going to accompany you, Unga?
Yes.
I suspect it may not be the wisest thing to bring Rainbow directly to Myth, given those with whom she consorts.
That's wise, of course.
She may already know of Rainbow, given what we know of what she at least mentioned being able to do.
What was that?
Being able to find us.
Well, I think the fact that we stand out quite a bit and we don't ever really slink. We almost strut through town, so we're pretty easy to find.
I learned a trick for that, brother. We can slink now.
Oh yeah?
Did you?
I did. I've been consulting with Sheldon, and we've been working on this for a while.
Oh, do tell.
He is a crafty one.
Well, sometimes I can tap into nature, and it whispers things to me.
Oh, yes. I'm
Like,
familiar.
Don't step on that dry branch.
Well, as one who dabbles in whispers, I offer a bit of caution, because the things that whisper to me are not always nice.
Well, your magic is kind of spooky. And it scares Sheldon a little bit. He's definitely wanted to snip off your head while you're sleeping a couple times. But he gets over it fast.
Well, thank you for preventing that. I do believe my robes would have had such a stain.
Yeah, I don't think he really means it anyway. He's just grumpy.
Not Sheldon, and I pet him.
And he side eyes Gaiselin.
Snap, snap. Let's see.
So did we actually rest already, or are we still yet to do that?
Yeah, you slept. You've had a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the long rest.
So do you think we have star powers now?
I don't know. The magical sensation did fade, but I definitely felt something.
I don't think we've gained anything. I think whatever it was trying to do did not work.
Oh, because you think we need 7 of us.
That being said, that power that coursed through us, we may be able to duplicate the feeling.
What do you mean?
And I just sort of hold out my hand and do the radiant thing.
Okay, so you're gonna try it.
Yeah.
All right. What's your mindset when you do try it? Hold on, I have this written down somewhere.
So
Is there-
for
there's-
Prudence, she is trying to channel everything that she was feeling in the moment when the light hit them. And she is sort of like remembering about how Myth had exploded with light, right? And trying to harness it, possibly through her own magic and her own self-discipline of her spirit.
Okay. So basically what this does is you're like tapping into the power of the star within you, and you can either use that to add 1d6 radiant damage to an attack, or you can use it to expend one of your hit dice as a bonus action and heal either yourself or someone within touch range.
Okay.
Once per day.
Okay. So, yeah, I will do this, and this opalescent orb sort of materializes glittering, and then not really knowing what to do with it, I just blast the wall with my radiant sunbeam.
And you can all do this.
Oh,
What?
how did you do that?
It was a matter of remembering. But I
What did you
suspect
remember?
that my means of accessing this could be very different from yours. We are very different people.
Wait, out of character, are you just RPing your
Yeah.
possibilities? Oh, okay.
I'm also RPing this new thing that I didn't know we had, but Megan just
Oh,
told
so
us we had.
And
we
you
did.
can
okay.
all do it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Because
No,
you
no,
were just
no,
like
no.
I thought you were just like a Sun Soul monk or something.
I was originally just role-playing that I'm a Sun Soul monk, but
okay.
then Megan was like, so you get to add a d6, and I'm like, wait, what?
Wow. Okay.
So explain that again, please.
Okay, so you can either add a d6 of radiant damage to an attack roll, or expend one of your hit dice to like heal yourself or an ally within touch range as a bonus action once per day by
So-
tapping into the star that is within you.
To an attack, or would I be able to add it to a spell?
You can add it to a spell.
Spell attack. Wow. Well, I would get Prudence.
They're
could-
both on a cooldown, by the way. It's not like just the healing that's once per day. It's also
Oh.
the attack that's once per day.
Once
Like,
each. Okay.
same
Can
cooldown.
And
can
it's an
Prudence?
either-or thing, right?
Yes, it's an either-or thing.
Can I imagine Prudence leads us in like a sand-filled glass temple desert meditation session where we learn to like do this? I'd like
Yeah,
to imagine that.
And she's absolutely making sure that Galason has to assume the most convoluted yoga position at one point.
Just Galason.
Just
I
Galason.
believe Gleason also still has uncomfortable desert robes on as well.
He does.
Yeah.
The itchy ones.
Yeah. He's got like a yak hair vest on.
Oh, pain in the butt, little sister mode. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So he total is like, I don't know why it's different for everyone, but sure, let's give it a try.
Yeah, we could do like a wave where we're like past the radiant energy.
It is because you channel the shadows. You need extra help with the light.
No, he actually steals the energy out of the shadows, right? That's what I always looked like.
Indeed, yes.
You turn it into something else. It's really cool.
I'm totally BSing him.
Yeah.
And I imagine he falls for it. So
And that actually sounds kind of plausible too.
What is Rainbow up to while we're learning these new techniques?
Like,
Chilling out in
Rainbow
the
has
desert.
mostly been flying in circles, occasionally like landing on one of your shoulders or like your head or something, and like watching what's going on. It turns out she has a fondness for like just perching on Prudence's horns.
Okay. Oh my god, can Sheldon
This
do
thing
that ability
big, though?
too?
Yeah, Sheldon can do
Sheldon
it
can
too.
shoot laser beams?
Yes.
Oh,
Don't
Wow.
even let me get him a circlet of blasting.
He will be
No,
blasting
we-
everything
we-
in sight.
if we have to do a circlet, he needs a circlet of intellect so that the crab is the smartest among us.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah.
I think that would be the creme de la creme.
yes.
New quest goal.
Sheldon starts taking wizard levels.
I imagine I imagine that might actually have come up in conversation during that meditation thing in game. Yes, like there's headbands that can increase your intellect.
No, I wouldn't know anything about that.
That's true.
unless there was an interesting tale somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have intelligence skills.
All right.
Investigation, no. History, no. Arcana, no. No.
He's a tabula rasa.
Let's see. Religion, no. Yeah, I don't
All
have
right.
that stuff.
Sheldon knows though. That's his quest. It's like there's a headband out there. It'll make me smarter than all y'all.
Come on.
So I guess after we're done goofing around and figuring out this newfound power, we'll head back to Luster.
All right, so you head back to Luster. It takes as long as it took to get here, but we're going to fast travel that because we do not have time to do desert travel.
And
So-
Rainbow does go with us?
Rainbow does go with you.
As we approach town, I ask Unga if he can make. What did you say? You can make a slinky?
There's nothing about Slinky.
What is the word you used?
I don't know. I just said whatever.
Oh, sneaky.
The opposite of whatever Ted said.
Skulky.
So yeah, I think maybe that was it. More skulky.
Should we
Do you-
skulk into town?
Do you think we need to skulk into town?
I don't know.
Well, as you guys are approaching the gates, you can see a bunch of guards out there, and since you left the Temple of Glass, that light that shot into the sky is still there, and you can see it
Oh.
from here, so you might want to, like, I don't know, it's up to you.
So, should we? I look at Prudence and I say, like, is this a time for subterfuge then?
Do we actually need to go to town? Should we continue on and head back to Canopy?
Well,
Do we not need myth?
I don't believe the time to acquire her is quite yet.
but when we show her the light in the sky, she's going to be super impressed.
But what about the danger to Rainbow? There
Yeah,
is-
that's a
there's
good point. That is
The
a.
bird napper in town.
Oh my! No, I think we killed him. But what,
No,
That was
no.
a kidnapper, not a bird
Oh.
napper.
who Oh yeah, that's right.
No, the guy.
Yeah,
that
the
bought a
vendor.
whole bunch of birds and doing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting. Yeah, sorry, I got confused.
Oh no.
Oh, what happened?
We lost the GM.
Oh,
We
there
did.
was those raindrops. She said they did warn us. They did. Warn us.
So, bear with us, folks, as we try and figure out where our illustrious GM is. Yeah.
Yes.
So
That
for
being
me,
said,
for me, I noticed because the overlay went out all crazy.
Yeah, I am seeing that now as well. But meanwhile, we could have that in-game discussion. As
Yeah,
to
we could. I mean,
Yes.
Where to actually go?
And then when they show back up, we'll be ready to go with a decision.
so if we go to town and acquire myth now, or not acquire, but at least
Yeah.
confront her now, the pro is that it's a lot less likely that she's going to take us by surprise. However, the downside is if we go to myth now, it's entirely possible that she may ingratiate herself to us with the intent to betray us the whole time.
True. Also, even if we brought her to the temple, that light would still be on until Sir Lufel, who
Mhm.
presumably, I guess we could surmise, is the only other sibling out there that we have.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have a number now.
Wait a minute, are we so dumb that we never even thought that the number of stars in the constellation had anything to do with the number of us? It seems so obvious now.
No. We were role playing our low intelligence scores.
No, I was. Yes. I mean, that's a good cover story, but
So,
Except it's not cover because-
Never thought of that either.
Literally people watching.
Yeah, true.
I was
It's
not
just the
trying
internet.
to overthink things, so
Yeah, it is funny. It's great, but yeah. So that's interesting. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you sort of have like carte blanche to just talk out of character or in character.
so I don't know that I think there's a bunch of exotic things in Luster. I mean, elementals
Yes, a
running
lot.
all around. So I'm
Yes.
not so sure that Rainbow is that much of a standout.
True.
If we wanted to circumnavigate or not circumnavigate and just go into it and check on myth, but if we decide to go to the canopy, that's also fine as well. Because technically, getting the feather back is the quest.
Our
right?
primary motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ben would feel that way too.
Also, we could see if Myth doesn't show up in Canopy.
That's true.
What if we set a trap?
We could. I will say for Prudence's part, she wouldn't oppose being able to drop off the gifts that she acquired for Issa. Because she did totally pick up those skulls from those undead and some other creepy things.
True.
You are the weirdest girlfriend ever.
Yes.
I went out, I brought you back these skulls.
They were
Not
once
just any
animated.
skulls. Yeah, they tried to kill us.
They tried to kill us first, yeah. These are special.
Oh, I believe we also took those silk tapestries from that secret tomb.
Yeah.
Found too. Also for the Babylon candle. So I figured, like, hey.
Silk sheets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and if we don't go back, you're not going to get your sleep on your silk sheets. All these things, all these plates are in the air.
Mm-hmm. Well, presumably, I mean, yes, it's fast travel, but, they do actually travel the distance. So we would presumably need to, like, get supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah. On the other note, it also means we had some time to discuss this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And hanging out at the Babylon candle is pretty fun. With our goth friends.
Yeah.
They probably think we're a
Now,
bunch of dorks.
here's a point, just a point to bring up. We acquired this power to do radiant damage from the temple, right?
Yes.
Myth can already do this.
She can?
Yes, because we heard a rumor that she did. Therefore, that makes me wonder if Myth's already been to the temple.
But she also doesn't believe in what we,
She's
claiming.
No, she told us she doesn't believe.
Yeah, right.
That's a difference. We have a GM.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
May already have been. Boy, that is wise counsel.
I'm probably overplaying my wisdom of 15, but I'm going to milk it.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Hey!
You had mentioned earlier something about like proving ourselves. Or I have a vague memory of that. Was that our intention? Oh yeah, because we were going to go do something heroic to prove that like we were on a quest of destiny. Is that right?
It was your idea, so
yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So maybe if that makes sense. If she had been to that temple already, maybe that would even be more convincing because she would know that we had to overcome stuff and that we were legit. Maybe she's just as guarded as you, Prudence, and didn't want to reveal her own secret in case we were trying to deceive her.
Perhaps. Also,
see, if everybody was
in
just
all
honest,
fairness,
wouldn't have these problems.
she would not know we had no means to harm her or to acquire power for ourselves. We have not proven ourselves to her. In fact, all we prove to her is that we are willing to run up to random strangers and invite them to come on dangerous, life-risking escapades.
That's how we all met.
Feeling a little
What is
called
the
out.
problem there?
But also if those fiendish people have any, sort of are threatening her and she is her sister, then we're definitely going to kick some fiendish butt.
She may also be in league with them.
She may. But
Fiends do love their deals.
with our keen intellect, we'll be able to puzzle out the truth. No problem.
Sure.
Let's go
That
with
was in character.
Yeah. All right, so Megan, we decided we are going to stop in Leicester because we had several things that we were interested in following up on.
So shall we test Unga's new ability to skulk, slink, etc.? I suspect that coming from the direction of the large beam of light behind us is not likely to earn us trust with the guards. And
Is there
I could,
only one way into the city? Are we able to kind of like loop around and go to a different entrance, exit?
dear brother, when you
I
have
mean,
wings, there are
there's
any
more than
number.
one gate, but it's pretty logical to assume that they probably have guards posted at the others as well. You could try going over the wall if you've got a way to do that.
Wings.
I was gonna say prudence.
I mean, if they're all concerned about this light and we, slink in the shadows, just throws all the suspicion off, obviously.
Are there other travelers or anything or is walking the deserts a rarity?
I mean, there are occasionally other travelers. They usually come in on camels because they have the whole water retaining thing going on. So the guards are checking everybody as they come in, but they seem to be giving them cursory glances and then sending them on through.
So they're gonna ask where we're coming from.
We could go over the wall at night.
I like that idea.
I am adept at conjuring darkness.
You are too? Wow. Well, we got doubled down on the shadow magic.
So I guess we'll just find someplace out of the way to kind of chill during the day, and at night before we're getting ready to approach the wall, Unga will get down on all fours and whisper something to the ground, and with that, the dust begins to kind of swirl and kick up around us as motes of it kind of wash over our trail and start erasing it as I cast Pass Without Trace.
Ooh.
Nice.
What is the wall like? Is it just like a?
It's transparent glass.
It's opaque glass.
But I mean,
but it is very smooth.
Is it like a walled city where you walk upon the wall like a perimeter, or is it?
Oh no, it's more in the style of a palisade, just made out of glass spikes instead of wooden ones.
And how tall?
40 feet.
We've got a rope and a grappling hook. We're good. And a tiefling with wings. So
Prudence could, fly up, set the hook properly, and the rest of us just climb. What are we doing with Sheldon? He does not seem to be quite the climber.
Probably. I look over at Unga and, between us, we could probably carry him up between the two of us, right?
Unga drops down to all fours again. Sheldon, backpack maneuver, and Sheldon just climbs on him and wraps all 6 legs around his torso, and then hooks his claws over top.
Oh, I love that.
We've done this before.
That is really impressive. All right.
Easy enough to do. Just fly up, find a place for the hook. Can I make sure that it's kind of out of sight of the guards? So we're not going to have a 7-foot tall torch person standing on the wall with guards looking up from multiple directions.
Yeah, no, you're good. You can definitely find a place where they're not patrolling at the moment and get yourselves over.
He throws the hood of his desert robe up, and his hair just kind of goes to a little embers. Just it's a smoldering fire instead of a raging fire.
Okay.
All
right. So you are now in the city. What do you do? Oh, I mean, there are guards patrolling the streets as well, but they don't seem to be taking note of you just yet.
So it's not a high alert curfew sort of thing. They're just
no, they're just
going on?
posted at the walls. Yeah.
Okay.
If we feel we need distractions, I've got the ability to use Mage Hand to knock something over or touch a guard on the shoulder, what have you. Could use prestidigitation to make a sound or a wind as a distraction. And worst case scenario, I can, of course, conjure that, 20-foot globe of darkness. So I think all of those things are, viable options to cause distractions and what have you.
I'm mostly concerned with keeping an eye out for pickpockets and unsavory sorts that might come out specifically at night.
I am going to squint my eyes and look like I'm looking around, but he's really bad at that, so it's not very effective. But he looks like he's on high alert. For just
Give me an
whatever.
intimidation check.
Me?
Yes.
Oh wow! With my +0, that is 6.
You can have advantage because you're stupidly tall.
Okay. That is a 13.
Okay. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. Continue.
Oh no. I
Should
don't like the DM's back pocket.
Bring it on. Should we skulk over to the Babylon Candle?
Yes. Perhaps we'll even look like we belong this time.
Yeah, I did notice these shadows seem to be creeping up along us, thanks to Unga's newfound connection to the land. Pretty cool.
Is that? Oh yeah, that's the one where we're staying at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was the other one? The nice place.
The one where Myth was?
The
Yeah.
heart's home.
Where,
Okay.
yeah, that's where... Didn't Prudence... What did you wild shape into? Like a squirrel or something?
No, I used my
A cat.
the variant ability that was published where you have all the class abilities.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
basically, I spend wild shape to get find familiar.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Right. That was cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess we go to the Babylon Candle
Mm-hmm.
because I have gifts to drop off and brownie points to earn.
So you get to the Babylon Candle and you walk in and you find Issa in a heated conversation with the guard on the other side of the bar. And she is insisting, swearing up and down, that she, quote unquote, hasn't seen them. The guard has not seen you yet.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
am I the only one in the door? Or is everybody in the door? What's the situation?
Well, I mean, you would be the first one in the door. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 12.
Okay, who would be the second person in the door?
I think I feel like I'm taking up the Vanguard today.
Not that my perception is going to be, all that great, but yeah, my perception is passive is only 11, so.
Mine's
Okay,
9.
so-
9.
Is Vent or Galatian the next person in the door after Prudence?
I would be.
Yeah.
Okay, so Prudence and Galatian are both in the door by the time you guys notice that the guard is there.
Okay. Can I very subtly hiss to my brothers behind me, including Galatian, around the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We'll do that. We'll skulk around.
Yes, with this special ability Unga has given us.
So you manage to get around the back and you get into the kitchen. It's just as goth as the rest of the place. Like, the tables are all black wood. There's skull-shaped candles burning back here, But after a while, Lisa will come to join you unless you guys have something you want to discuss before she does.
We did that on our journey through the desert.
Okay.
Yes.
So, she comes back and she's like, I don't know what you guys did to make the queen want to talk to you, but the queen wants to talk to you.
The queen?
I've never met a queen before.
Either. Is she right here in town?
Well, yeah, she's the queen of the city-state.
Huh?
Do you think she knows about Sheldon?
Why are you worried about her knowing about your crab?
There's not a lot of seafood around there, and Sheldon looks very. And I kind of try and whisper. Sheldon looks very delicious.
No, she didn't say anything about a crab. The guards are talking about trying to find some people with, and she points to your birthmark and gives a little circle motion around it.
Uh-oh.
The constellation. She wants to know about the constellation.
Oh, she should ask Alex. He knew a whole lot about it.
Well, no, I mean the constellation birthmark. They've already taken Myth in.
Oh,
no.
We gotta
That
break
is,
her out.
Taken her in what capacity?
Well, they brought her to the castle and no one's seen her since.
I see.
I mean, well, we gotta go present ourselves.
No, we gotta break Myth out.
Well,
You can't just go presenting yourself to the man. Or the woman, in this case.
well, I mean, this town's called Luster. It was a light at the temple. Maybe they're just curious in that regard. We could have discovered an important archaeological fact about their whole society. We could be heroes.
We could earn a lot of baton time from the watch. I've seen it happen.
An audience with the Queen might not be a bad thing, but suppose only a few of us went. Suppose we said we split paths.
I'm not certain that is the best idea. I mean,
I look over at... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
since we have begun this journey, I've not really, truly left my family. We are better, stronger together.
How's Alex going to get the feather if we get arrested?
I mean, all of you believe in what we're doing. Myth is yet to believe. I think it might be a wiser course of action to safely go to Alex, give Rainbow here a new home, a much more comfortable home than this desert place, and then decide if we continue on, find Lavelle, and then come back for Myth, or whether we take Myth and try to then go find Lavelle.
What if Myth blames us for not breaking her out?
We gave her the option to come with, and she denied us.
What if Myth gives my stone to this queen and she's able to find us? Or me, anyway.
There are many questions, and I certainly don't have the answers for them. I have offered my opinion.
This is
So-
a tough job.
Gleason, are you inclined to want to confront the Queen at a later time, or do you prefer to remain out of court politics? Given your past, I honestly don't know which you prefer.
There are certainly advantages to going and having a conversation, but if their predilections are towards violence of whatever it is that we have done, not very happy with it. But if it is merely a conversation, then that is certainly something that I would excel at.
Well,
Issa, what do you know about this queen? We honestly don't know anything about local politics or anything.
Well, I know I've never met her. I know she's an Afridi. Yeah, I know she.
Oh, yeah.
Seemed particularly interested in meeting you, Vent.
Yeah.
do we need to insight Vent when he gives that expression? Freedy.
I mean, they're not known for being kind and merciful.
When I suggested we go in different groups, I was not suggesting that we necessarily split from one another, merely that perhaps 2 or 3 of us could be hidden, watching from a distance, or even much closer than she would think.
how would we do that?
Well, Unga's already demonstrated an especial knack for hiding and moving about unnoticed. I can see through animals if I conjure them, as previously demonstrated, and I'm not certain what your magical capabilities are, brother, but you're clearly well versed in shadows.
I can conjure darkness, but there is a difference between wrapping an area in darkness for a short time and to truly remain invisible. I do believe that Unga's magic, glosses things over, but it does not remove them from sight. I think if we were to walk into the Queen's chamber, I don't think anything that we do would be able to completely obscure sight.
Well, it sounds like we all need to go then.
What if we go and sneak in and get Myth and sneak out? Like a jailbreak. Then we could ask Myth what the Queen wanted.
I mean, we don't know that it's that sort of situation, though.
We do not
Maybe
know
maybe they're having high tea right now.
Correct. She may not even be in the dungeon.
Are we able to ascertain any questions? Are there any ways to gather information?
We could send Prudence in the cat again.
It is an option.
But how would we ask the questions?
Well, we could see what's going on at least. Because then we would know what questions to ask.
This is true.
We could send the cat with a note.
A messenger.
But
you know what?
Cat read?
I think Unga's onto something, though. I mean, this queen clearly is making no secret that she's looking for us. So why don't we send some sort of emissary while we remain somewhere that they can't find us?
Issa nods and she's like, that's a power move.
Really?
Yeah.
I just thought of that. Thanks, Issa. Oh, by the way, and I hand her all those silk tapestries that I took down from that tomb. They got a little bit of tomb dust on them, but...
You know what? Tomb dust is metal. And
Yeah?
she cracks a grin. She's like, I got your sheets, by the way. Not that she'll be using them, I'm sure.
And I'll look over at Prudence, too, like...
Speaking of, I do have some things for you as well. And I
much
produce...
cooler than these. I just said they're much cooler than these tapestries.
I produce the 2 skulls. And then the ritual components that I took from that chest.
Oh, she is incredibly excited. Like, you bring these things out, and, like, even before you do, she's, like, got the fondest smile on her face, and then, like, she sees its skulls, and it's just, like, the sun coming out from behind the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather the moon, because goth things.
Yeah.
Right.
Those were actual undead creatures, not 24 hours ago.
What? That's the coolest. She, like, picks one up and, like, sort of moves the jaw with it and, like, has it talk a little, like, mocks it a little bit, sets it up on one of the shelves. She's like, that's awesome.
I think that's the one Prudence kicked back into death.
You're hardcore.
So
Thank you.
hardcore.
You certainly try.
I would. And I take her hand and just kind of raise it and give her a kiss. And then put it on the book that we found. And I would love for you to hold on to this for me, for safekeeping.
I will.
And just put it in both her hands and push it towards her.
And she tugs it to her chest.
Thank
Just
you.
a little red in the face. No, thank you. Do you mind if I read it?
No, go ahead. Perhaps it will give you some insight into our... And I side-eye vent destiny.
Well, Oh, sure. I'll let you know if I find anything interesting.
So we're kind of like standing around the back door still.
Yeah.
Like if I peek in, like what's going on inside? Is there any like live bands playing, or is there goth regulars hanging out and stuff? Like usual?
There are goth regulars hanging out. That guard is still hanging around.
Oh, he's still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh.
So, the goth regulars that I had spoken to, they'd asked for like a couple bones, right?
This for a couple what?
Bones.
Yes, they did. They did. They asked for lizard bones.
So you know, I grabbed whatever I was able to find in the tomb, even if it was just like a couple knuckle or toe bones. If we're not to be staying here, I would ask that you deliver these to those ruffians, courtesy of myself. They'll understand.
Hey, do any of
Sure,
these? Do any of these people, any of your regulars, like, do they have any sort of mystical ability of like maybe, or just anywhere we could like hide, like if we were gonna do that, idea with sending a messenger somewhere where we couldn't be found?
Maybe we could hide out with Tweezle.
Look,
Do you think they'd let
my
us stay there?
regulars all think they're wizards, and like none of them are. So
Really?
I wouldn't.
I
ask
totally
them.
thought they all were. Wow.
No, they did not. They did not seem to hold power. They just wished they did.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I thought the lizard bones were like spell components or something.
Well, they sure they are.
Trust me, as one who has sought ways to get one over on another, they are looking more for that direction than to actually be holding power.
Going to Litha might be a good idea too, because they're bird friends. So if nothing else, it'd be a safe place for Rainbow to chill out.
Galatian, a thought.
Yes.
If the Queen is so interested in meeting Vent, perhaps you and I should circle back to the front and explain that the other two were intended to be along later, and like a few days later, and we could go see the Queen, and then we'll know if she'll let us return or not.
What if she just throws you in the dungeon?
And we'll bust them out.
Then that's where you come in, dear brother, with your swift fingers. And I kind of eye your lockpicks or wherever you keep them.
I was looking more at muscles than lockpicks, but hey.
Both is good.
So, okay, so like Unga, Sheldon, and Vandalelo, and you guys will go do that. I'm okay with that.
And of course, Sheldon would be clever enough to help. And she just pets Sheldon.
He's our ace in the hole.
I don't know. I still think it'd be better to send the kitty cat and just see what's going on. I mean, we could find Myth and then see if they're treating Myth well. So they're not going to treat us any better than Myth. She lives here.
Well, I think that dear sister has a point. What if we sneak in? Maybe our lovely innkeeper could house the three of you, while dear sister and I go have a conversation and see where things go.
All right. How will we know if you're not coming back?
If we're not back in a couple hours' time, clearly if things have gone awry.
Then Prudence, then you can send your cat to us.
Yes, indeed.
What happens to your cat if something happens to you?
It is not my cat. Even more so than normal cats, this cat is not owned. It is a spirit from the Feywild.
And it's connected to you, right?
After a fashion. You know how you speak to the land and it answers?
Mm-hmm.
I can speak to other worlds and they answer sometimes.
And
So,
just to be clear, this is not a sibling.
Correct. No, just a face spirit.
and we saw you conjure it, right?
Yes,
Where does it go when it's not here?
wherever it pleases. Frankly speaking, if I send another cat, it is very unlikely to be the same.
Interesting. Can it connect to you the way you connected to it?
I suppose. I'm not certain.
Why don't you leave your cat with us?
I could.
What, don't you have enough animal companions already? You've got the bird, you've got the crab, now you want a cat too?
No, but he can use the cat to let us know if something's gone wrong.
Oh, that's a good point.
That is a good point. Well, hey, listen, if you're going to go talk to this queen, there's a couple things you should know. The Freedy are deceptive, cunning, and cruel to the point of ruthlessness. They despise being forced into servitude and are relentless in pursuit of vengeance against creatures that have wronged them. But they don't see themselves like this. They think they're just fair and orderly. So
a standard
Yeah,
politician.
yeah, except like on a planar level where they enslave people from other planes and put them to work in like the furnaces
You
of
know
death.
this one?
No, that's just most of Freedy that I've, that's like their MO.
Do we know if she's attractive?
Right.
Why would you
Don't
say that
know.
after I took a drink?
But
I'm sorry, I was looking at Doug, not you. When I
Oh my god, that's funny.
can't really say. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. They might be beautiful on the inside.
I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
I've heard about
Beholders?
them. Yes.
Yeah. All I'm saying is
If
Be
the
careful.
queen is attractive, then I could, do as I do and flirt a little and try to see what information can be garnered and adjust the situation to best suit us. But you know what happens if you flirt with one who does not deserve such tendencies. It could go poorly.
Are there slaves in Luster?
No,
oh, that's
not
good.
that you know of anyway.
Yeah.
Could we ask Issa?
Yeah, you could ask Issa. Issa doesn't think that there are either.
Okay.
If there's slavery going on here, then they're doing it in such a way that it's not, above the level,
Okay. That's a good sign. That's a good point. Do people ever go missing in large numbers?
Brother, are you saying you'll only flirt with her if she's hot?
I mean, she's definitely had. I mean, just being near them is could incinerate somebody.
There are levels of attractiveness.
He says, well, I do know that she's hot. She isn't a pretty.
Yeah, right?
Prudence is just hand over face in pain right now from the puns.
I'm
One must have standards, dear brother.
I'm being serious.
I'm not sure if it's right to toy with her emotions though. I think it
My
might
wisdom is 7.
It might be mean.
Oh, I've been accused of worse.
Maybe you'll actually hit it off. I mean, I've known Sin quite a while, and I mean, I think he genuinely feels some connection to people that you encounter, right? Or no, am I totally reading that wrong? I have very poor insight.
To some extent, there are connections that I've been looking for.
Hey, you never know where matters of the heart are concerned.
Indeed.
I'm just saying, watch out they don't incinerate you.
Well, that is something to look at, indeed.
Hmm.
So,
Fair.
is our dear sister's plan for consideration, or
That's
I
fine.
like it.
It's fine as long as you leave the cat with me.
Very well, I shall bring forth the cat. And I do the whole thing where I take a couple candles and put them in 5 places on the table and then trace my finger and the star appears and then the wood begins to warp from the table as it grows into this cat, and then pretty soon it's just a normal cat, but this one is orange with brown stripes.
Oh, I scritch it.
What is this cat's name?
Usually they do not like to reveal their name, so feel free to give it one.
That looks like a Mr. Whiskers.
If the queen kills you, can I keep it?
You may keep it for as long as it lasts.
Perfect. But don't die.
Unga is absolutely that kid that comes home with all the stray animals.
Mm-hmm. When he says perfect, Prudence just head in her hands again. The puns. So many puns.
Oh, it's almost a catastrophe.
Oh boy.
He's just grinning.
Prudence is not laughing.
So,
Which just makes Issa grin more.
so, dear sister, is it time?
I believe so, but perhaps we should circle around the front so as not to draw attention to the back.
I think it might be prudent to allow Issa to go about her duties, and we amble away from town, or away from the inn here, and in a little bit make our way to the tavern as if we were coming for the first time.
This would make sense.
One does not. One has a little bit of experience dealing with dalliances, if you will. Comes in handy now and again.
I see.
I imagine we'll go wander around town for a little bit, and then eventually make our way back to the tavern if we're not accosted beforehand.
Rad. All right, so you were not accosted beforehand. You get back to the tavern. The guard that was talking to Issa is just coming out as you're coming in, pauses, looks at the two of you and is like, there should be more of you.
I'm sorry, maybe I've lost a little weight. I mean, I've been wearing these heavy robes for days now.
He laughs and he's like, no. It's just that the queen wanted to speak with one of your companions. You are the with the mark.
Oh, yes.
No, my name is not Mark. I am
Forgive him. He is a bit touched sometimes. Our brothers went to deliver a item that was requested that we recover, and they intend to meet us back here in the city in a few days.
Oh. All right, well, would you mind coming and speaking with the queen for a couple of minutes?
Only a couple of minutes?
Let her know that so that I don't have to.
Well, for royalty, of course, we can spare a couple of minutes.
It would be our honor to have a conversation with Her Majesty, and I'll give a bow that is more fitting than his station.
The guard is just not sure what to do at that point. Like, there's that awkward, like when somebody's making it weird. So
Gallison, he makes it weird.
That's right.
Sounds about right.
So he's gonna like motion for you guys to come along with him, and like takes you to the glass palace, and it is extremely opulent. Like the whole thing is made of glass, like entire castle made of glass. And it's all blown in different colors, and there are like 6 or 7 different towers and like various hues, and so he leads you on through to the throne room where there is.
It's gonna take a while. He's gonna have to like keep pulling me along. Probably like a couple instances of like, hey, we're keeping the Majesty waiting, because you're talking about opulence and whatnot. This is kind of where Galason really enjoys. So he wants to look at these cool things and what have you, and needs a little bit of encouragement now and again. And yeah, there's probably a little bit of I'm rubbing his nose unintentionally in the process.
And he just sighs and grins and bears it, and he just looks the most put upon guard right now as he like kind of leads you along, and it's like herding cats, really. So he brings you to this like very elaborate throne room with like chairs along the sides, and there's a raised dais at the front of the room. And the throne as well is made of blown glass, and the Afridi sitting on it. Like, and she is actually hot. Like, not temperature-wise, but like attractive for an Afridi anyway. And she is sitting there, and like Myth is sitting in a smaller chair on the dais as well. There's a small table between them. They're like having a discussion. Myth kind of raises her head as you guys approach, and looks kind of surprised to see you actually.
Hello.
Could I have left the bulky, obnoxious garments outside, like the room, so I'm in nicer attire before I confront the queen?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I've got actual noble quality garbs, so I'm looking presentable. Probably take a moment to pull out a mirror and make sure I fix my hair and whatever have you, again for the queen, but again to rub it in this guard's face that it's taking longer than it's supposed to.
So she does like stop and look at you two for an inordinately long amount of time before she speaks, and she stands and actually like leaves the dais to cross to Galacid in particular and pauses there, and she's like, "You."
So I will give a very respectable bow, and how might I help Your Majesty?
I had doubted it when I heard it, when the rumors got to me in the first place, when they told me what they had found, what was happening, who had caused that light in the distance. I had doubted it, but seeing you were the absolute spit of Calden.
Of who?
Calden Lucifax. Never mind.
I am certain that I am quite perplexed, Your Majesty. I have not heard this name before.
We have heard that name before.
He's just someone that I know. I was hoping to speak to you and your siblings.
There is, two of my siblings here. Yes. The other two are indisposed at the moment, and I do believe that one is still amiss. Or the others are. The others, poor Sheldon, he is so neglected. 3 of my brothers are indisposed. 2 are here, and another is not yet accepting of their fate.
Do you have any idea how long it will take them to get back?
I do believe it should be a day or 2 before, excuse me, that they are able to return. But I do not know where the one who has gone astray is. Why do you ask?
That's quite all right. I can wait a day or 2. I can wait longer than that if necessary, really.
What is it that you are waiting for, if I might ask?
Your brother, the Genocide.
Yes.
I just wanted to see him.
Is there a particular reason? I know that he has quite an interesting past.
What has he done? I swear he didn't mean to do it.
No, I just want to make sure that he's well and was taken care of.
he has held quite an interesting life, and he is in fine and wonderful health.
Okay. Okay.
Why do you ask? Again, if I might be so bold.
It's nothing, really. I just... You know, a light appears in the sky, and one has their curiosities, and I happen to be one with the power to indulge those curiosities, of course, and you can give me an insight check if you want.
Can I too?
As well, yes.
Yes.
Does she say that out loud?
No, that was me.
Yeah.
She's your
Sorry,
mom.
I didn't mean...
Yeah.
That's Vince's mom.
So that's a 14 on
Mom.
I got a 12.
Okay, Galatian, you can tell she's lying through her teeth. Like, she's got a personal interest. And, yeah, you probably do start to suspect that's Vince's mom.
So Ted is not, super, in train of thought here, but I want to say something that moves the conversation to whatever the next thing, that it would be, while like subtly indicating, that there's more to this than she is letting on. So I don't know if that says anything to you, or we can just, dump and move, but my brain is not engaged. I'm sorry.
Can I step in front of him and say, we'll be sure to send our brother to see you when he returns.
Okay. I'll be here. It's not as though I go anywhere. Just, go do whatever it is you're doing. I know there's a touch of destiny at hand.
He says something similar, often.
If I might be as bold to ask, what is Myth's part in all of this? And I kind of look back and forth between the queen and the tiefling.
Well, she knows you. And what had gotten back to me was that there were people with a certain birthmark in town that had gone to the temple. I was given to hearing about this when the light appeared in the sky, you see. And then they were talking about the birthmark, and she happened to have it and was on hand to speak with.
And she has been your guest ever since?
We've just been talking. She had some of her own pursuits and was willing to indulge the questions that she knew the answers to, so I figured it was the least I could do to listen to what she had to say as well. Meanwhile, Myth is sitting over there with just this little, like the cat that caught the canary, you know?
Did she react when I specifically said we were sending him along instead of bringing him?
No, I don't think she caught that.
Okay.
I know, I didn't catch it.
No, that was why I did what I did. I specifically said we will send him along when he gets back, instead of saying we will bring him.
Yeah.
Just to test the waters.
What is your particular interest and connection to the temple? And I'm trying to get into a more conversational, flirty aspect, with it.
Does he say that out loud?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm trying to get into a flirty conversation here.
You're gonna mac on Vince's mom? That's so gross.
Well, Ted might realize it's Vince's mom, but Galatian has no clue.
Oh, this is good. She's like, it is a very old ruin, and it's been a mystery for years. So when the light appeared in the sky, we had curiosities.
And
surely someone of your station would not be interested in a ruin.
Ruins contain many interesting things. They contain histories. Sometimes they contain powerful artifacts. And a light in the sky, that's something of note for anyone.
Well, speaking of things in the sky, the constellation that is also listed within the temple that has been missing. Do you know anything about that?
I know that when the stars disappeared, it was years ago, and I know. And she smiles a little bit. She says, "I know the men that stole them."
You know the man that stole them.
I do.
Is this name at which you spoke of upon our first greeting?
It is. Holden Lucifax.
And what is your connection with this gentleman?
Well, he was a companion of mine for some time. Some brief time, but some time nonetheless.
And you think that I look like this one?
Oh, you do. You're the absolute spit of him. Yes.
Well, what would you be able to tell us of this individual? Was he a flight in and out of your life?
He was here probably for about 2 years, talking about the constellation, talking about what his business was, and he had places to go. He had other things that he needed to attend to, so of course he didn't stay long, but he had a lot of interesting things to say. You might say we hit it off.
I suspect he had many interesting things to say.
Oh, I'm sure
to
you do.
And I've just got my arms crossed. Like, Prudence has not been reverent in this situation and has mostly been quiet and is like, "You're a queen, but you're not my queen," kind of thing. Like, very much opposite Galatian.
So I'm trying to think about, how, my not so great wisdom, not so great intelligence, but at the same time, he grew up with elven nobles. He knows about how things interact. And I do believe, Vent said that, his mom was in the Freedy. So I'm trying to figure out, with all of how this character is put together, whether he would have any clue about, this backstory. So it's very, very bizarre to try and figure out. So I'm just going to run with my stupidity and not really, have this connection, line up properly. He's got the insight that, there's this thing going on, but if he's seeing all of the pieces of the puzzle, we're not.
Well, if this subject, I only ever said his mom was in a Freedy. Like, he doesn't know much about her.
Right.
It's okay. Right. Prudence put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
But, if I'm going to keep flirting with, Vent's mom, it's, only going to be more weird.
Oh, this is
if
so
you
good.
end up as my stepdad, I will punch Sin in the face.
Are we really going that Game of Thrones here?
Oh no.
So I think Prudence would like to lean over and whisper to Galatian and say, "I do not suspect she would be interested in you, as she already experienced the first who looked like you."
The first what?
The one who looked like you. And then I just sort of like elbow him. "He's Vent's mother, and she's speaking of our father." And just like through these gritted teeth with these long canines, just like, you dumb string of curse words.
All right, so throwing because the die said so, throwing off like all of his years worth of political niceties and everything else. Like, wait, do you know our father?
Yes, I knew your father quite well.
Oh my god.
How do we get a hold of him?
I wish I knew.
I have more questions than it would be prudent. Like, gaining some composure, have more questions than it would be prudent of your time. If we might be able to schedule something, time permitting, of course. I would love to know what you would be able to tell, perhaps after we were able to gather our siblings.
Yes. You said that your brothers would be back in a couple of days. Come back with them and we can talk.
Could I, throughout this, look at Myth and try to gauge how she is reacting to all of this?
Hold on. Let me roll a deception check real quick.
She already knew all of this, so.
Well, no, she has her face schooled very well. It's like, but if you want to give me insight, it is possible that you could
24.
figure out what's on in her head.
21.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, you absolutely know what's going on in her head. This is news to her, too. Like, she hadn't pushed in that direction. She hadn't realized this was what was going on. She has this, like, very forced, pleasant smile on her face. And just like, what?
You can see it in her eyes.
Yeah, you can see it in her eyes, but she's just, like, all kinds of shocked.
She's like, what? I'm banging Vince's mom, too? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, no.
Well, I assume she went there to kind of like sell us out, and is just now like, oh, they were really, that was for real? Like, I thought they were just bullshitting me. She's inscrutable, that Myth. Unless you got a 21 insight.
Of course.
Then you're scrutable at that point.
Well, with your permission, milady, if we can go collect our brothers when they return, and we shall return.
By all means.
So, how quickly does Unga get restless when we're just like sitting in the alley behind the
There's still some
sorry.
quick before we transition.
Sure.
So as soon as we like are out of the chamber and I'm like, grabbing the things, I'm like smacking Prudence on the shoulder. You really think that's his mom?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do you think I have a chance? It's like Stifler's
So you're
mom.
saying there's a chance.
Vince's
Yes.
mom is Stifler's mom.
Oh my God. What is this campaign becoming?
Alright, you guys can go there.
Oh, Unga's good. Unga's got the cat to play with.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I probably would. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if the cat acts like a real cat or not, but Unga is going to attempt, like, he's going to pull out, string or a ball or something to try and get the cat to play.
At any time in that exchange with Prudence and Sin, did Prudence every so often just check on, like see through the phase eyes?
Oh my God, it would be terrible. Like to be close up at Unga's face.
Who's
a pretty kitty?
Nope,
They're
she just
fine.
gave him a cat to play with.
Okay.
Well, I imagine if it's a fake cat, it's even more of a prick.
Wait, did you just summon an actual cat and we think it's a face spirit, or is it
No,
the actual
it's
face?
actually a face
Oh,
spirit.
it is the face spirit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unga would be fine either way.
Sure.
Imagining the cat playing along with attacking the string anyway.
I would probably just sit there and talk to Sheldon because he gets me. Yeah. He's a good listener. I don't have anything specific. So.
Like you guys do eventually get back though.
You're alive.
We are indeed. And we met your mother.
What? What are you talking about?
According to Prudence, anyway, that was
The dragon?
No, the queen of this place is Vent's mom.
That was just who raised me.
Our father's name is Cauldron something or other.
Caldon Lucifax.
I wouldn't be
Something like that.
so dismissive of someone who raised you. I mean, that seems like an incredibly kind act.
Yeah, no, I was just. Sorry, out of character. I was just saying it was his parent. That's a demon, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Alex tell us that? That he was a demon who stole that sword from the sky? Or no, it was their sword. Wasn't it?
No.
It wasn't? Oh.
No.
Okay, sorry. Where did we hear that name?
He is the one who stole the constellation. He stole the stars.
So Dad was here, he stole the stars, and he left again. And Vince, your mom's here, but she left you too, right? She abandoned you.
I also, yeah, I mean, I was given to, actually wrote down the dragon's name.
She gave you away.
I actually say his name in primordial, because I don't know what it is in common. That just sounds like a lot of roaring flame and such.
She gave you away instead of raising you in the palace.
That's what I have always known, yeah. I mean, I didn't have a bad childhood. I mean, was a great guardian.
If Galason is any indication, usually a great many complexities underlie any court's politics. There could be any number of reasons that she could not raise you. I would not jump to assuming that anyone had ill intent.
I mean, you said she seemed nice?
She seemed to care for you.
She seemed genuine, and the fact that she stayed with Dad for like a couple of years. I mean, that's so much better than what Dad did with my mom. Days. Stops.
I'm sort of questioning my brass dragon guardian now. It's like, why did they...
Were you stolen? Maybe she didn't give you up.
I never thought about that.
Or perhaps there was danger.
Oh, and Myth was there, just not a prisoner, but totally just sitting in a chair next to the throne.
Like freeloading?
Possibly, but totally living it up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess my mom thinks we won't be here for a few days, we could actually, I mean, it's dust. We don't know where it's leading, but it is destiny that got us this far. Should we return this feather or stay here? I feel kind of stupid just going there now after if she thinks I'm
out of game. How long of a travel is it to Canopy?
I mean, you could probably get there and back in about 3 days if you hustle.
That is beyond the time of when we said. And look, if you've got the chance to see your mom, then
Hey Vent, when's the last time you saw your mom?
Never, thanks.
Yeah, so what if you make her wait an extra day or so?
Yeah, exactly.
She made you wait how many years?
Yeah.
Wait.
Right. It's been 20 years.
Isn't it you waiting? Wouldn't you like to actually see your mom? I mean, all of this quest has been to find Dad, and here's your mom.
Right, the quest is to find... Well, I don't know.
I have a clue.
We're supposed to give the feather back. And she left him, probably. Unless the dragon stole him. Did she seem like she had a kid stolen by a dragon?
I mean, there are nuances even in regular courts with the elves. Perhaps there was an arrangement that had been struck. Perhaps there was a scandal. I mean, elves are all about scandals. So what if Dad and Mom got it on and they had a kid and they're not married? That looks bad upon the throne.
I turn to Sheldon. I'm like, Sheldon, you remember when I found you those years ago? And he does his crab thing. Yeah, and you know how many times I've left you since then? Yeah, and we both cross our arms and we kind of just look at Vent. You don't leave family behind.
I'm not going to argue that point, dear brother. In fact, I'm in favor of it. But here we have a chance to reunite Prince Vent, with his mother. By the way, that's sticking now.
Great. Well, now we gave our word that we were gonna get this to Alec, and we gave Rainbow our word that we were gonna bring it safely to Canopy, and I gave you guys my word that we were gonna pursue our destiny, and this isn't it. And she's not going anywhere. She can wait.
Yeah, unless she abandons a whole kingdom or city.
So,
Which you never know.
I look Vent directly in the eyes, or as given the height difference as best as
Sure.
I'm able, and the typical charade or layer of hidden emotions that Galatian typically does. Like I thrust it all off, look directly at you, and convey with as much emotion as possible. This is your mother. This is your choice. I am behind your decision 100%. I would ask one thing: if we slink out of town, kind of the same way we go in or came in to doing the mission, but to just deliver that it will take a little bit extra time, just so that your mother is not waiting longer if she expects you upon the morrow or the next.
Oh yeah, it would be terrible if she had to wait for some undetermined time.
Yeah, I had in 20 years I've never had any concern about my mom being worried about me. I'm not going to start right now.
Well, it is your decision, brother. You are the leader of this group.
Really?
And
Now look around at everybody like, do you guys think that too?
Yes, of course.
Oh. Okay, well, I sort of puff up my chest a little bit. All right. Well, then we'll return the feather to Alec, and then we'll find some home for Rainbow, and then we'll come back here. Unless Destiny draws us another way before then.
Very well.
But for right now, I think there's a pretty cool band queuing up in there.
We should go and listen.
hey,
Regardless,
what are the chances that Lovell will have just shown up in Canopy?
That would be something. I don't know. What are the chances?
Fate's worked quite a number on us so far.
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what we do,
Hey,
should we
Unga,
encounter our parents, I will say that for my part, this was never about Father, and always about all of you.
I thought this was all about finding Father.
No, I told you. I was just following Vent on his adventure.
just looking for something. Just see where we came from. I didn't really know I had all these siblings or anything about any of this.
Well, I have found this journey as thrilling as anything else in my life. So I am happy to have taken part, even if apparently the quest to find Father has been naught but a ruse.
We still haven't found him. To be honest, from what you said, it sounds like there's more to him than just being some rakish, gigolo, for lack of a better term.
I'm certainly, inspired by the fact that if Father's able to steal the stars from the sky or hide them in some way, shape, or form, that's certainly compelling and possibly powerful.
Well, each of us is definitely, we have all gotten something from our moms, and we know now that we got something from our dad. I guess now we just want to find out why.
Dad supposedly looks a lot like me.
Yes.
I think those missing stars, I think Prudence was right in that, I think they may be like hidden in us. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've seen some weird stuff out there in the plains. And maybe that's where they're at. My mom might want them for some nefarious purpose. I don't know. I mean, she seemed nice, but if Freedy can be very deceptive, she might have been tricking you.
Looking back upon that conversation, was there anything, in the conversation beyond just wanting to see Vent?
Give me insight.
17.
Yes.
Looking back, there did seem to be more there. It's hard to tell exactly what that would be. But like I said, this is a fun and exciting ride. So
I believe wasn't Alec. His goal was to he actually we were doing this so he could provide us more information, right? So at least I don't think
that's what the feather was for, though.
Wasn't it?
That was like part of a bargain we made with him.
Oh, I thought it was like he had to use it in his instruments somehow.
Yeah, he had to use it to give us information about the constellation and the fact it was missing. But then while we were on this quest, it was revealed that they're hidden, and now they're hidden in us. So the quest was always kind of find out what happened to the stars. Dad's involved somehow. Galason wants to find Dad. That's his whole thing. And we did, and then we kind of all went along with you because you're the leader.
Okay.
And so then we found out, Dad stole the stars and they're in us. Now it's more about the mystery of what did Dad do and why.
Yeah.
To Sin, who never really had a real connection, Vent kind of approached him and saw this similar birthmark, and whether it was just an insight at that point in time or just this nuance, Vent has been enough to pull Sin along, and he's along for the ride because there's legitimate care and connection between these siblings, and he's never had that. His dalliances have just been that his family was a mother who was in trouble for having him and a grandfather who saw him as nothing but a disappointment to the family. So people who actually really truly give a shit about him, thumbs up. You tell me where I'm going and I'm going. So
he doesn't want this quest to end.
Basically.
Yeah.
So were you going in to listen to the band? Is that what you said, Vint?
Yeah.
So I will grab Prudence when he does that.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Prudence.
Yes.
I don't want Vint to see his mother.
Why?
Because I don't want him to leave us. There's a palace, and Myth is having this great time. And he could just wait there, and maybe Dad will just show up one day. And she left him, too. She left him. Just left him. With a dragon. He could have got eaten. Like, that's barely even an appetizer.
You're right. It feels so sweet of you to care about whether or not he gets hurt. But much like those birds in that marketplace, you cannot protect him forever.
Oh,
Eventually,
that's not the vibe Unga is giving off at all. It's very much he doesn't want to be left alone.
Unga, you will always have us. No matter where we are. You will always have us. And I just take his enormous head in my hands and make eye contact. You will. and it will be okay.
Then you catch something else that kind of like in Unga's eyes. But what if I'm not there and something goes wrong? I have to be around all of you. Or it
I
can
kind
happen.
of pull him. Sorry. I pull him to sit down, like separately, like in a corner or something. What did you see in those mirrors?
I saw myself, and I was with all of you, but I kind of look around. But you all did something, and I had to stop it.
What did we do?
I don't know. I just know it was bad. I just felt it.
What did you do?
I stopped it, but it was too late.
How did you stop it?
I did what I had to do. It was the only way. And then Unga kind of shakes a little, and his hands are kind of shaky, and he looks down at those shaky hands, and I stopped you all. I just stopped you.
Those mirrors showed what could be, not what will be. We all have choices to make. And while it's true, Vent believes wholeheartedly in destiny, and it may very well be a thing, that does not negate the legitimacy of our choices. You choose to do right every day. When you freed those birds, when you decided to rescue that little girl and unite her with her pet. Good choices are an everyday thing, not an eventually thing.
Vent said the Ifriti can be cruel and wicked. What if that's part of the bad decision?
I take your hand and I turn it over. Anyone can be bad and wicked. Think about what people think when they look at you. All of us can be very evil or very good. And it always comes down to those choices we make moment by moment and every day. These hands don't mean that you're bad. What these hands do is what is good or bad. And you decide that. Here, and I tap him on the forehead again, and then place my hand on his chest. And here.
So he looks down at his hands, and you can see that he's seeing something somewhere else, and you just see his fists kind of like clench, and like the muscles in his shoulders and his neck and his arms go kind of taut. As he sees his old companion, Geoff, the dwarf, that kind of like showed him the ropes on the streets for a long time, and up until the point that he realized that Geoff was using him just because he's big and strong, and he was just a tool. And when he finally confronted Geoff about it, he Geoff was taunting him, calling him stupid, and, a big nobody, and he looks up at you, like kind of like snapping out of it, tears streaming down his eyes. These hands strangled Geoff to death. I watched the light go out of his eyes as he was calling me names, and he used me and Sheldon. And that after that, I was lost, and Sheldon followed me around. It was only when I found Vent that it made me feel a little bit better and not so lost. And for once, I felt like someone cared about us, not because of what we could do for them and how they could use us, but just because we were just good enough as we were.
And I stand up and go around the table and just like wrap as much as my arms will go around Unga, and then my wings even kind of come around too and just like envelop him. And I whisper, "Your hands are what you do, but what I trust most about you is this." And I tap his forehead again, and this, and I just pat his chest.
Will you tell the others what I did?
Do you want me to tell the others what you did?
He looked scared for a moment. No, I don't want them to know.
What we have done in the past does not dictate who we are, and it does not dictate who we will be because of those choices we make. And I trust you implicitly, which is, and she kind of pauses and gulps down some tears that she's been holding back. It's a very hard thing for me to say.
Did someone trick you too?
It is not who tricked me, but my mother is very good at tricking others. Perhaps she did trick me and I don't know. Perhaps that is why she asked me to find all of you. And then she just sort of like pauses and like pulls back and hugs herself, and you can see she's trying to like debate within herself and fight within herself. My mother is a night hag. They can be cruel. She has made a great many deals with many people, things that they think are frivolous, asking for things, memories, dreams, laughs, etc. But it always leads to something more. I know how tricky people can be. I was taught to do that myself. But I choose every day not to. So when I tell you about choices, Unga, it is not yours I speak of.
I'm sorry your mom tried to make you tricky. I don't know what a night hag is or what that means. And, you know, oftentimes I was really sad that I didn't have a mom. But now you tell me yours, you know, tried to make you trick people. And Vint, I think his mom just left him. And then, you know, Sin is always talking bad about his grandfather. I don't know. I think maybe I had it off the best with Sheldon. Or at least when we were fighting and surviving, we knew and understood what was going on. But I don't know. These families seem really complicated.
I think that's all families. My mother was not all bad. She taught me to love the worlds, not just our own, the Feywild, the moon, the stars. She taught me to dance, which is one of my favorite things to do. She taught me confidence and cunning. She taught me to be careful. And I do not think that just because someone has wronged us, it means that they are altogether evil. Like I said, It always comes to choices, individual choices.
You've given me a lot to think about, sister. And I'm not always good at that.
I'm not sure I am either, frankly speaking.
But I will try. And I look around. Can I give you a hug?
Of course.
And so Ungo will come in and scoop you up, kind of like brushing the table aside, and pick you up and give you a big hug, and just kind of like buries his cheek into your shoulder, and just squeezes you tight for a moment and then sets you down. Thank you, Prudence. I feel better already.
As do I. We'll work on this together.
And then you almost get tripped as Sheldon comes in from behind for a hug, but just slams into the back of your knees and wraps his claw, his big claws around you and also hugs.
Oh, of course, I love Sheldon too. She just wiping away her tears, pats Sheldon and gives him a cookie.
Let's find the others before they start missing us.
Yeah,
yes, I heard there was a good band playing.
So when you come in, I was thinking Vince, he's just hanging out with these people, and when you come in, he's actually mid telling a story about Unga, and just oh my god, you should have seen him, he totally detected this trap, we would have gotten killed, and it's he was able to hold on to this key thing when the door fell, and he's just going on about kind of looking up to his little brother, oh man, he's, he threw his axe through this mirror and walked into it, and blah, 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 so just started regaling these people with that above the din of what I imagine is some kind of medieval Cure cover band jamming on stage, which should be totally awesome.
Hopefully at that point, Sin leans in and is yes, he totally found that trap with his face.
Yeah, I could see Sin doing that.
So that was all. They're just, just talking about how cool
God.
his brothers are and sister.
You guys, actually, caused me to manifest tears, and I both love and hate you for it. But it's almost 10. It's about time to wrap up. So
Sounds good. I want to thank you for running, Megan. Excellent session as always, and thank you for the players. And of course,
and we know our father's name now.
we
Yes!
do. And
That's a major element. So
Yeah,
and we're tracking down moms and all the things. We're going to be on Maury in no time at all.
You're on notice, Unga, and your mom's arc is. Then it will be your turn.
But with that, I want to thank everyone who's been hanging out and watching with us, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place. So until next time, stay nerdy.
nerdy.
Stay nerdy.